Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since I've posted on this channel, but I've been going through some things in life and whatnot, so just dealing with a bunch. But back today with another video. This is a review video. So this video came off of the VinWiki channel. I'm actually sitting here with it on my computer now, which we'll switch over to, and I'll show you the video, points of the video. I've got timestamps written down here and some points I want to make on this because this has to do with vehicle shipping. More specifically enclosed vehicle shipping, and kind of some of the things that happen, which would never happen in my company, but this is why I tell people to do your research on companies. I've been screwed personally. Obviously, there's a video on this channel of me getting screwed, and I just to try to prevent this from you, if you're looking to get a car shipped, if you come across this video, or you're looking to get into the enclosed transport business, these are some things you need to make sure you're definitely not doing, and might allow you to understand some things that happen in the business and why some customers are skeptical or may not go with you if you're new into the business, just things like that. So we're going to switch over to screen record, and we're going to go over the video from there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go through this together. Now, like I said, I do have timestamps here that I went about looking at this video before. We're going to go over it. I've already watched it 2 or 3 times, and I wanted to make sure this was good content, but I think this has some good points that we'll touch on. So we're going to start here for like 58 seconds or so. So this gentleman that is in the video that is telling the story worked for BMW of America, and they were getting 2 brand new BMW M5s shipped from, I'm guessing, Spartanburg, where the BMW plant is in South Carolina, out to the LA Auto Show. So we're going to start here, and we'll see what he has to say.
These cars were getting shipped to the LA Auto Show, 2 F10 M5s, brand new M5s. Now, look, even big car companies are a little cheap sometimes. It's not always reliable or one of the bigger carriers that bring these cars over. It was a smaller carrier that you had room for 2 cars, and you transport over 2 cars. At one point, this guy...
So there's a point to make right there. Mistake number 1. BMW, the company BMW of America, is being cheap. If a company like BMW of America is being cheap, what do you think these individual car owners, are these smaller dealerships or anything smaller than BMW, which is just about everybody, what do you think they're going to expect for service, or who they're going to try to use and how much money they're going to try to spend? The guy, nothing against the guy, but for transporting cars across the country for the LA Auto Show, he's only hauling 2 cars. That should be and is his only priority. His trailer's full with BMWs from BMW of America, South Carolina to LA. That's all you got to do. So start this back up for you.
Guy drops off the face of the earth. Can't find them. Can't find the cars. LA Auto Show came and went. Still can't find the cars. Finally, somebody had the idea to ping the cars, because you could. And to be honest, I don't know why someone waited that long to even go find the cars. But we pinged the cars, because you can. The Connected Drive team went and pinged the cars. By the way, that's how they do their repos as well. If they need to repo, they just ping the car. And they found the cars. And there was 1 car still sitting in the trailer. The car carrier was there. Just no one was there. And the other car was sitting outside of the car carrier. Crashed. Full of glitter and cocoa butter. Apparently, homie decided to go to the strip club with the car to go do whatever he had to do, and he had a good time in the car, crashed the car, and this guy just disappeared off the face of the earth. This guy could not be found anymore either from the owner of the company, the towing company.
So, point to be made there, and that's the end of the first story. I'm not going into the details of the BMW, but guy was just a driver for a company, and it ended up costing this company probably their business, crashing one of the BMWs, taking one out on the town, and doing some little extracurricular activity. But what makes you think that hiring somebody like that and then him going out and doing that, even if he didn't crash a car, don't you think that BMW of America would have noticed the change in the mileage on the car, or smells in the car, or dirt on the floorboard, just because that the car is brand new? But that's the first story. We'll let you guys think about that. this happens more than you think. So you have to be careful if you're looking to get a car shipped. You have to be careful about who you're using. Like, and he even mentions Reliable in here. Like the two major companies, you got Reliable, you got Plycar. That's who companies like BMW of America should be using to ship across country. Not that the little guys don't deserve the business, but somebody that has, positive reviews, somebody that knows somebody. But it doesn't surprise me. I see this stuff, I hear this stuff all the time. But knowing that they were brand new BMWs being transported across the country, not that it makes it right, but it's not like the guy was transporting a Ferrari or Lamborghini. Let's move on to story number 2. Starts at 2:45. Let's see here. We'll start here and we'll pause it when I want to make some points.
They're shipping debacle, and this was for SEMA. And if you guys aren't familiar with SEMA, guys, this is like the biggest car show in the world. There's no way getting around it. And this was our first year there. First year that BMW decided to go to SEMA. This was a big deal. There's a lot of approvals to take place here, and we had a lot to prove because I think it was like $2 million to participate in SEMA of basically lost money. That's kind of how BMW looked at it. So the way it works is when you load up for SEMA, it depends on where your booth is, and SEMA will give you a load up time.
All right, I'll stop here. I don't know if this was a major company or what it is. He'll do a little explaining of a little farther about the company and who was driving. But I don't know what the company was. But the fact that they could pay $2 million to have a spot in SEMA, but they're going to, again, go cheap on the transport to get these cars that have to be out there. This is major for them. If you're already spending if your cars don't show up, you don't get that $2 million back.
Right? More or less. They could change it, but you can't. You need to be ready when it's time to bring the cars in. And we were buried inside. So we were one of the first. And if we didn't go in, we'd hold up everybody else. It'd be a really bad situation if the car carrier was late with the cars. Funny enough, he was about 7 hours late. Tony and his wife, Tony. So they were a couple truck drivers.
So the driver was 7 hours late, which I understand things happen, but things to note here, they were team drivers. So they're definitely going to be covering more ground, or should be covering more ground, obviously, than what an individual driver is. It's not too uncommon for a team driver situation, an enclosed setup of 6+ cars, just because it is physically demanding to load and unload those cars and cover more ground with team drivers. So really, how much time did they have to get across the country? Who knows? But being team drivers, they had more than enough time. But they did show up 7 hours late.
Drivers, bring the cars over. So what we ended up shipping to SEMA was 3 7 Series. So the reason why you bring 3 is to have backups just in case if this happens. In this instance, just the one had these one-off side skirts. So we couldn't just swap these side skirts if something were to magically happen to him. But what are the odds of something happening to him, right? And being carried by a professional driver. And the reason why we have the extra cars is for that and for runaround cars if we have to go do something during SEMA, after SEMA, whatever that may be. We were calling them for hours trying to figure out where they were. They weren't even picking up the phone. Finally, Tony and Tony show up. Now, I'm pissed. So I can't help it. So I walk up to the truck and I just start reaming into Tony, saying, where the hell you been? Why don't you call us?
So, first mistake there is going out and reaming him out. It's not excusable because he did not answer his phone, but sometimes in a situation like this, you have to go in with a cool head and just feel the situation out from there. Then you can explode if you need to, but you don't go in hot-headed right away.
We can't even load up the car. Like, it was a disaster. Like, if the disaster would have happened, that was it. We can't get some of the best cars that we brought out for SEMA, right? Inside. So Tony's looking at me. He's like, okay. Next thing you know, his wife comes out. And she's got a club in her hand. Like, the club. Remember the club? That thing. And she's chasing us, right? Literally around the truck with the club. Meantime, there's security there in the lot. SEMA security, like behind the gates, right? And he's looking at me like, she's your problem. I'm like, she's Tony's problem, right? So they unload the cars eventually after everybody calms down. And we had a 7 Series there with like the only set of side skirts. It was a M Performance 7 Series, Okay, so this started with the F30, then they brought this into the 7 Series. They started doing M Performance parts on it. Only one in the country, or only set of cars in the country anyway, with these side skirts. Somehow, some way, our homeboy Tony ripped the side skirt off the car, along with the sticker on the side skirt that was the only one in existence, right? Because they were prototype stickers. So we pull the cars off and we start assessing the damage. Okay, so out of the 3 cars, we were able to piece together 4 rims.
All right, so we're just going to stop there for that. Now, we'll switch over to the other camera, and we'll go from there, and we'll use our do our closing points here on this topic. All right, so closing points on this topic, on that, especially on that last story. One question I have is, how did the side skirt get ripped off? I wouldn't say this could have been avoided, but things do happen when shipping vehicles and moving vehicles on and off trailers. So at the time of the pickup from BMW of America, there should have been a representative there loading up the cars. Once the cars were inspected and loaded, should have been signed off on that there was no damage. So what tells me what happened was, during this cross-country trip, this carrier had more than just BMW's vehicles on it. If that's the case, could have been avoided by BMW. Not saying that the damage is justified, but it could have been avoided by BMW paying for what I consider as, you buy the trailer. Your space, I don't care if you have 1 to 6 cars, however many my trailer holds, you buy the trailer. So the rate has to be justifiable for me to get across the country with your vehicles, just your vehicles. So that could have been, could have been avoided, because what I assume would probably happen is they had other vehicles on there. They had to move BMWs around, whether the driver was tired, it was late, just carelessness. He ripped a side skirt off and wasn't shown or told anybody till they arrived on location, which may be the reason why they were late, is because they were trying to figure out how to fix this damage themselves, try to see if nobody would notice. But quick little video for you guys, and I know it's probably not quick, it's probably over 10-12 minutes, but I'm going to try to do some more of these videos as I come across them, little review videos, and just try to protect people that are getting their cars moved across the country, tell them what to look for in a carrier, and if you guys are looking to get into the enclosed or just transportation business at all, just things you need to be aware of. Things happen, and these are kind of examples of how to deal with them and how to not deal with them in this case. So we'll see you guys on the next one.